Ever stared up at the night sky and wondered if we're alone? Now, imagine asking that same question, not in our age of smartphones and space telescopes, but thousands of years ago, with nothing but the stars and your own two eyes. What if, back then, the answer wasn't silence? What if something answered back? Today, we're diving into a mind-bending alternate history. What if Earth faced an alien invasion in ancient times? Forget flying saucers over New York. Picture massive, strange vessels blotting out the sun over the pyramids of Giza, or casting shadows on the newly built Great Wall of China. How would our ancestors, the Romans, the Han Dynasty, the Mayans, have reacted? First, let's set the stage. The world is a patchwork of burgeoning empires, each with its own gods, armies, and understanding of the universe. For most people, the world is flat, the heavens are the realm of deities, and the most advanced weapon is a well-crafted sword or a catapult. Now, imagine the arrival. It wouldn't be a clear signal on a radio telescope. It would be a new, impossibly bright star that moves. Then it gets closer. Panic would be the first wave. Is it a demon? A god's chariot? A celestial omen foretelling the end of days? Priests and oracles would be swamped, trying to interpret this terrifying spectacle. The Roman Senate would convene an emergency session, while emperors in the East would consult their most trusted astronomers and mystics. When the ships finally land, the initial shock would give way to a brutal reality check. Ancient armies, masters of siege warfare and phalanx formations, would be utterly useless. A volley of Roman arrows or a charge of Mongol horsemen would be like throwing pebbles against a modern tank. The technological gap wouldn't be a gap, it would be a chasm. The invaders' weapons, likely based on energy or forces beyond our ancestors' comprehension, would seem like divine magic. A laser beam could be interpreted as a bolt of lightning from a god's hand. A soldier in advanced armor might be seen as an invulnerable demon. This wouldn't just be a military defeat, it would be a spiritual and psychological collapse. The very gods people prayed to for protection would seem powerless, or worse, maybe these invaders were the gods, and they were not happy. So, would humanity just roll over and surrender? Absolutely not. Our capacity for resilience is our species' greatest strength. The initial, large-scale battles would be catastrophic losses. But humans are adaptable. Guerrilla warfare would become the global standard. Imagine Roman legionaries, masters of logistics and engineering, not building forts, but using their skills to create hidden bunkers and tunnel networks in the Apennine Mountains. Think of Celtic tribes in the dense forests of Gaul, using their intimate knowledge of the land to stage hit-and-run ambushes, not with swords, but with captured alien technology they've painstakingly learned to operate. In the Americas, Mayan and Aztec warriors would use the labyrinthine jungles to their advantage, becoming ghosts that strike and vanish. The biggest game changer would be reverse engineering. Humans are tool users. It's what we do. It might take decades, even centuries, but a captured weapon or a downed scout ship would be the single most valuable object on the planet. Blacksmiths, who were the closest thing to engineers back then, would work alongside a new breed of natural philosophers, our early scientists. They wouldn't understand the physics, but through trial and error, they'd figure it out. If you press this glowing stone, it melts rock. If you combine these two strange metals, they float. Knowledge would become the new gold. Societies that were once rivals might be forced into uneasy alliances, sharing intelligence and captured tech to fight the common enemy. Trade routes wouldn't just carry silk and spices, but whispered secrets about the invaders' weaknesses and schematics for crude, replicated weapons. This would fast-track human development at an unbelievable rate. The scientific revolution, which took us centuries, might be compressed into a few generations. Concepts of metallurgy, energy, and even astronomy would leapfrog thousands of years. But it would come at a cost. Our culture would be forever altered. Our myths and legends wouldn't be about heroes slaying dragons. They'd be about heroes who tricked a sky demon, or brought down a metal chariot. The Epic of Gilgamesh might have a new chapter about a battle against star beings. The pantheon of gods would change. New gods of metal and light might emerge, or a unified global religion might form, centered on a great enemy from the heavens. Art, architecture, everything would be influenced. Imagine pyramids not as tombs, but as repurposed power generators, or Roman aqueducts glowing with a strange energy, powering newly fortified cities. The very language we speak might be peppered with alien terms for concepts we had no words for. But what would be the aliens' goal? If they wanted to wipe us out, they likely could have done it quickly. Maybe they wanted resources. Perhaps they saw us as a primitive but promising species to be uplifted or enslaved. Their motivations would be the ultimate mystery. If they were conquerors, humanity would be locked in a forever war, a species forged in the crucible of constant conflict. Our societal development would be laser-focused on defense and war. We might reach the stars much faster, not out of curiosity, but out of a desperate need to take the fight to the enemy. If they were more like cosmic zookeepers, they might cordon off sections of the planet, creating preserves. This could lead to a divided world, preserved, human societies that continue on their original trajectory, and contacted societies that are forever changed, creating a bizarre patchwork of Stone Age tribes living next door to hyper-advanced city-states. In the end, an ancient alien invasion wouldn't just be a story of war. It would be the story of humanity's accelerated, chaotic, and violent adolescence. We would have lost our innocence, our myths, and our original path. But, in its place, we would have gained a new, unified identity as Earthlings, a species that looked up at the stars, saw a monster, and decided to fight back. We would have become a galactic contender far sooner than we were ever meant to. What do you think? Would we have survived, or would we just be a footnote in some alien's history log? Let me know your theories down in the comments. It's a fascinating scenario to think about. Thanks for joining me on this journey through a past that never was. If you enjoyed this trip into the imagination, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest what-ifs in history and science. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, stay curious.